Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. This video I'm going to briefly discuss VAT credits, just a quick overview of what a VAT credit is, how it sort of operates in day-to-day doing of business. Value-added tax is one of the tax regimes that currently operates here in Thailand. It operates simultaneously with things like corporate income tax, personal income tax, withholding tax, things like this. Personal income tax doesn't exactly pertain to corporations per se, but a foreign national who's utilizing a corporation to maintain, say, a work permit and business visa over here are going to be intimately familiar with personal income taxes. Personal income tax has to be paid on the salary that one pays oneself in connection with their work authorization here in Thailand. But specific to VAT, what we're talking about here is VAT is an interesting system because it was essentially designed to provide like a credit-debit sort of setup with respect to the tax itself. So as the name implies, value-added tax, it basically taxes the varying points within a manufacturing process or a providence of service process. It basically taxes the varying points where value is added within that chain of commerce or commercial activity. And the interesting thing about VAT is if a company, specifically a company now, or I should say a corporate entity, a registered business entity in the kingdom, if they have a VAT certificate, they can go, that company, one, has to go ahead and pay monthly VAT on their income that is subject to value-added tax. There are certain things that are exempt under the value-added tax scheme. I'm not going to go into specific exemptions. I actually thought about doing a video on specific exemptions, but candidly, it's a rather wide and rather nuanced topic. So therefore, those who are interested in specific VAT exemptions, I'd strongly urge those individuals to go ahead and contact legal and accounting and tax professionals such as ourselves, just professionals in general, to go ahead and glean some information about how exemptions work, etc. But credits are a little bit simpler. Basically what happens is you sort of keep a running tally per month of your company's revenue. And that revenue, certain amounts of it are going to be subject to VAT. You also have expenses. Presumably a company, a going concern, is going to have expenses in a given month and throughout a given year for that matter. And those expenses may have VAT that you have to pay for those. The VAT you pay on expenses oftentimes can be used as a credit against the VAT you have to pay on your incoming funds. So for this reason, keeping track, fairly meticulous track of one's VAT credits can lead to mitigation or in some cases basically extinguishment of a VAT obligation. The other thing to think of is one can kind of sort of bank their credits and use them against future earnings that are subject to VAT. Again, I'm not going to get into specific strategies of doing this, but just sort of understanding the concept of VAT crediting will help people sort of understand how the system works. Another thing to note with respect to gaining VAT credits and mitigating one's VAT liability is that the Thai Revenue Department here in Thailand, the various authorities that deal with taxation matters, are very meticulous when it comes to the issue of the formalities associated with the creation of tax invoices for purposes of crediting VAT. For that reason, hiring and retaining competent, in fact, rather meticulously competent commercial, or I should say corporate service providers in terms of accountants and tax professionals can be a real benefit to those seeking to do business here in Thailand because, again, mitigation of VAT obligations through crediting can really save an entity a lot of money. And if it's done correctly and all the formalities, the necessary formalities are adhered to, such credits can be enjoyed. But there can be times where, unfortunately, formalities are not deemed to have been met, and for that reason, there may be a loss of the enjoyment of mitigation of the VAT itself. So it's not a bad idea to contact, again, tax professionals, business professionals, legal professionals such as ourselves, here in Thailand to go ahead and gain a wider knowledge of how this works and secure one's interests with respect to doing business in the kingdom.